Minister of Electricity Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa is meeting with Mozambique's Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Zacarias, to seek supply options to address the daily electricity shortage in South Africa. Let's cross live to Liabo, our reporter, Setho. Liabo Setho standing by. Liabo, good morning to you.
Good morning, Naledi. Well, you may have noticed that you've had a very limited time of load shedding in the past couple of days, which means that there may have been some improvement in the generating capacity of the power utility Eskom. As a matter of fact, on Friday, the Minister of Electricity, Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, did announce that there had been a 0.7 percentage point increase in generating capacity, which has translated in roughly about 433 megawatts of power. This has also seen the energy availability factor improved to about 60%. 60%, you ask why it is important because we are aiming to get to at least 70 to 75, if not 80% of energy availability factor. And we understand that the meeting that he had today with the Minister of Minerals and Energy of Mozambique is another step closer to at least achieving that target. But I don't have all the information. My guests do have all those information, and I have with me the Minister of Electricity, Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, as well as his Mozambican counterpart, the Minister of Minerals and Energy of Mozambique, Mr. Zacarias. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. I believe that there's an important announcement that has been made today with regards to power availability, and that will effectively help the economy of South Africa.
Oh yes, and just to also make the point, thank you very much. Good morning and good morning to the viewers. Just to say on the 2nd of June, Friday, the improvement was 7 percentage points, and 1 percentage point is 477 megawatts. So we're close to 3,300 megawatts additional onto the grid. And as we have announced to the country that we are going to make every effort possible to reduce the intensity of load shedding and its frequency. And part of that agenda of addressing the energy crisis in the country is to explore opportunities to import energy from neighboring countries, especially those that have got excess capacity and those with whom we are connected to the grid. And Mozambique is exactly that the country. About a fortnight ago, I was in Mozambique, Maputo, had an engagement with my counterpart, the Minister Zacarias, and he had also indicated the options and the opportunities available immediately, short to medium term, and also in the long term. We agreed we'll meet in 14 days' time, and through to form, we're meeting today, and Minister Zacarias now has confirmed Mozambique is able to offer us 100 megawatts immediately. As I speak to you, our technical teams, Eskom and EDM, are meeting to finalize the details of that. In the next 6 months, we can get an additional 600 megawatts, and going into the future, there are multiple sources in excess of 1,000 megawatts. So we are very grateful to the Mozambican people who are beginning to make the kind of strides that we had promised the South African people.
Yeah. Minister Zacarias, welcome to South Africa, and thank you so much for speaking to us here at the SABC News Channel. Can I hear from you about what this means for you to be able to help a neighboring country like South Africa, and about your own power issues? Indeed, previously there had been issues with regards to outstanding payments of about 1 billion. What has become of that?
Thank you. Good morning to everybody. They told me that I can speak in Portuguese. So.
Oh, I wish I could translate. May I ask you kindly to please speak in English in this instance, sir?
As you know, we have a long-term relationship with South Africa on the energy sector, and we are discussing now in the last few weeks potentially supply of electricity for the emergency situation that South Africa is facing now. And we have, as part of the broader discussion about cooperation, the solutions that we can bring for both countries in the medium, medium, and long term. Right. So we are in position, after evaluating what are the generating capacity that we have, yes, and the potentially viable electricity that we could increase the generation of additional 80 to 100 megawatts of power to South Africa. That we gave that mandate to technical teams for both countries, as Minister Ramokgopa mentioned it.
Minister, let me ask you, for the benefit of my viewers, what this means for households, people who are watching you today, who have had the benefit of not having load shedding over during the day and only at night. Should we be cautiously optimistic about this, or is there something that will be sustained?
Oh yes, we want to sustain it. Of course, it's about the reliability of the units. It's one thing to reach 60% energy availability factor and not maintain or improve it. And that's why we have identified 4 power stations, Matla, Kriel, Kendal, and Majuba. We are embedding technical expertise to ensure that we sustain this. And yes, we're optimistic about our ability to reduce load shedding. Of course, there's still going to be more cold days going forward. We are going to maintain this performance. And we promise them, like I've done before, we are going to end load shedding. And part of importing this megawatts is part of the overall solution to address load shedding in the country.
Let's talk about the role that Kapowership is going to be playing in the overall energy mix of the country. How do you see its role?
Well, emergency power is going to be a key ingredient to the resolution of this. Whether it's Kapowership or any other fuel source, we are going to pursue that. The key is that when you talk emergency, it can be more than 5 years, and it must be within the tariff structure that is affordable, should not be more than diesel, should not be more than what we have signed for the bid window 1 and 2, should be affordable to the South African public. So we're looking for all of those solutions. Once we arrive at that determination, we'll be able to announce it to the country. Transparency is key, accountability is paramount, and that's why we have committed to that. We'll use all avenues to make sure that we resolve load shedding, we get South Africa's economy back on her feet, people into employment, farmers to produce. We are confident about this solution.
I know you're about to leave, but just one last question. Which other neighboring countries are you knocking, whose doors you are knocking at to help with at least some generating capacity?
Well, now it's Mozambique, because we know of their capacity. If there's any, we'll announce, but we'll pursue this opportunity.
Right. Ministers, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I've been speaking to the Minister of Electricity, Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, as well as the Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources, Carlos Zacarias from Mozambique, telling us that they have concluded a deal where Mozambique will give to South Africa 100 megawatts of power. And as a matter of fact, they say that as we speak, technicians are busy with that. Hopefully, this can help in the sustenance of the power load shedding reprieve that we've been experiencing over the past few days. We do hear that energy availability factor has improved, and but to what extent that will go and how long it will go for, we'll only find out as time goes by.